I said 2 years ago after my skin removal tummy tuck that I was done, that I wasn't gonna have any more surgeries, that I was gonna just live with my arms the way they are. I changed my mind. I can't take it anymore. It has been 2 years since I originally had my tummy tuck skin removal, which I documented on this channel. And I'm at a really healthy weight for me. I don't want to lose more weight, but I still am left with stubborn, loose skin on my arms and on my back, on my bra line here. And this actually affects like my lower skin. Like this is all extra skin, extra tissue. It's not just stubborn fat. I don't just need to like lose more weight. I have a whole video where I outlined like this is just excess skin and tissue that my body has grown over the last several years, over a decade that I spent obese. And so tomorrow we're gonna get it removed. For my arms, you know, the incision will go from my armpit down to my elbow. Both arms, obviously, we're gonna take care of tomorrow. So stay tuned. We're gonna take you along the journey. Like this is the full before. And in case you're new here, my name is Laura and I lost 120 pounds by following a carnivore diet and incorporating some fasting. And when you lose a large amount of weight, you are going to be left with some loose skin. So we already took care of the loose skin on my stomach and now it's time for the arms and my back. Okay, my surgery is in the morning. It's really bad timing for the surgery. I mean, it's good timing because it's actually 6 weeks that I don't have to travel for work. So the timing for that is perfect, but it was a very last minute decision. My surgeon had a cancellation. I happened to have this window where I wasn't traveling for work. And so we scheduled it. We had already started this construction project, remodeling both of our bathrooms, and it's taking a lot longer than we thought it would. So right now our master bathroom is half finished. And I think tomorrow while I'm having surgery, they're gonna demo our second bathroom, which will be very interesting. I had ordered a recliner. Chris and I both used like a medical recliner chair when we had our tummy tucks. And we sold it. I ordered another one. We sold it because we thought we weren't gonna have any more surgeries. So I ordered another one from Amazon because of all of the construction. I hadn't put it together yet. Chris thankfully put it together today and not tomorrow. And it's trash. It's the other one I got from like Wayfair. It was cheap. It was amazing. This one is so thin, so cheap. There's no way I'm going to be able to sleep in that. Like it's just not going to work. So I just ran to the furniture store to try to find a recliner. I ended up not getting a lifted recliner because I can use my core muscles. I don't think that's gonna be as necessary. This one was way cheaper and it's actually cute. So hopefully it's comfortable enough for me to sleep in for a while. And if not, I have heard people, some people just end up like sleeping in their bed after this surgery. The master bedroom is where I'm gonna be staying. So I have like all of my surgical stuff set up over here, but we still have construction happening. So Chris is gonna he's gonna do like a deep clean of this room to get a lot of the dust and stuff out, like while I'm at the surgery place. You know, we're making progress on the bathroom. There's no cabinet doors. There's no glass on the showers. So, you know, things are coming along. Hopefully they can make progress in the next 36 hours before I come home from the surgery center, and we're just gonna vibe it out. We're gonna just stay tuned. It's gonna be chaotic recovery. We can do it. I just got home from the sauna. It will be the last time that I can do the sauna for at least a month. It's like until long past when my incisions are healed, before there's risk of bacteria and all that stuff. And I have to stop drinking or eating anything at 7 o'clock, which is right now. So I just finished chugging an unflavored Element. It's actually, I have such a difficult time getting IVs. I have a very tiny veins. And so in situations like this where I have to go a long time without drinking, they have such a hard time. So I always make sure that I load up on extra electrolytes, and that just helps to bridge the gap and keep me a little bit more hydrated by morning. It definitely makes a difference for me. I'm gonna be taking several packs of Element with me for my recovery for the care center, and then also obviously for home. Drinking it regularly helps to keep me hydrated. It's gonna help with healing in general, and it's also gonna help with digestion and keep me moving after having pain medications and anesthesia and all the inflammation and stuff from surgery. And that way I'm not having to take a bunch of laxatives and deal with the havoc that wreaks on my body. If I just load up on extra electrolytes, it makes a big difference for me. And it's something that I regularly incorporate anyway, so I highly recommend you check it out. If you want to get a free sample pack, you can go to drinkelement.com/LauraSpath. They have a deal for all my subscribers where you can get a free sample pack of their drink mix packets. You can get that with any purchase, and then you can figure out which flavor you like. So just go to the link in the description or go to drinkelement.com/LauraSpath.
So as we know, this incision goes from elbow to basically your axilla or your chest wall, okay? Everything below this dotted line, we make some adjustments in the operating room based on how much tension we like. All that will go away, so on the contour, be right about there, okay? The goal is to place our incision within those boundaries because that's going to help us with scar placement. So if you look here, when I pinch from here to here, we take away all of that tissue and the waistline, and go from here to here. So a lot of times when people think, oh, I need liposuction, it's not necessarily true. It's more get rid of all this excess tissue. So roughly 11 centimeters, no stretch. So like 16 centimeters on stretch.
Wow.
All right, you're all marked.
The surgery took about 5 or 6 hours total, and I have no recollection of this moment. I am not sure why, but I did take a video of myself post-surgery. Obviously, all the sweet nurses are taking good care of me, and I was very much still out of it. I then was transferred to the care facility nearby that I stayed for the first 24 hours.
How you feeling, babe?
Okay.
A lot of pain?
Not too bad, actually. You know, if I didn't know I had my raw line back done, I wouldn't think about it. Like, I zero awareness that that's what's happening right now. I was having a cough drop. I woke up with like a real severe sore throat from the tube. And my arms aren't too bad. It's mostly just like the armpit region, like, is kind of on fire right now. But other than that, I'm hanging in there. But look, it's crazy.
Transformation.
Yeah. After a pretty bumpy, long drive home, I was ready for a nap. And then, to be honest, the next 48 hours were kind of all a blur to me. I'm really sensitive to any type of prescription pain medication. So every time I took a pain pill, I would knock out for a couple of hours. Then I could wake up. Chris would always have some food and lots of protein on hand for me to fuel myself. And then it was usually time for another pain pill and I would go back to sleeping. So other than having a couple of meals, I really just slept for the first 48 hours. After I had my tummy tuck, it took me a couple of weeks before I could even sit at the table and have a normal meal. And I was already doing that within the first day or two. I just obviously had to move very slowly. I couldn't put my arms down by my sides because they were just so tender, but I was able to bend them since my incisions were all above my elbows. My naturopath's office has a hyperbaric oxygen therapy chamber, which is where you breathe pure oxygen in this pressurized chamber. and it's really helpful in increasing the oxygen levels in your tissues and promoting wound healing, reducing infection. So starting at day 3 after my surgery, I started doing this about twice a week. Hello. Today is Saturday, so I am officially, my surgery was Wednesday, so I'm officially, let's say 3 full days post-op. And I actually have taken no pain medication today. So the first 48 hours, I really stayed on top of the prescription pain meds that they sent me home with. And then last night I took one before bed and then slept pretty well throughout the night and kind of woke up and was like, oh, it's been a really long time since I've had pain meds. Maybe I'll just take some Tylenol right now and see how I feel. So, 3, 4 in the morning, I had some Tylenol, and now it's like midday and I've had nothing since then. So obviously that doesn't mean I'm not uncomfortable, but it's already like miles. This is miles and miles easier than when I had my tummy tuck. I'm really independent. Chris and the kids had to be out of the house for a few hours today and I was fine by myself. There's a lot of things like my range of motion is pretty limited to here. Right now though, everything just feels very tight, very sore. My incision across my back, I'm leaning against this chair, even though I have a giant incision across my back, it just feels like I have like a really tight bra on. So it's just like really tight. And as long as I'm careful and don't bump it, then I'm not in a lot of pain. But I still haven't unwrapped everything to see my results. My surgeon put me in these ACE bandages, and then my back is all bandaged up, but I have no compression on other than the ACE bandages. And then he said I could shower first on Sunday. So tomorrow I'll unwrap everything, and then he gave me just some light gauze to use.
I've never been so excited in my life. We can take this off. Which arm should we start with?
You're good on this one.
Okay, I just can't help that. I'm freaking out. Are you freaking out?
No, I'm calm. I'll be your calmness here.
I'm freaking out.
Okay, where I last left you, I was getting ready to take my first shower, which we stopped filming for obvious reasons, but it was just, my plan was to update you at the end of it, but it was a lot. It was very physically draining and it was, just a lot. And that was Sunday night. Monday I went back to work and there was a lot of tears that day. Like, I do not recommend only taking 3 days off work after this surgery. Today is Tuesday, which means I'm 6 days post-op. I had my 1 week post-op appointment with my surgeon this morning. He also took off all the bandages and everything today and just said like, I'm healing enough that I can go ahead and have everything like open. The incisions, this is your warning of like, maybe it's gruesome for you. And then I'll show you my back incision. The incisions are all very raised, like above the surface of the skin, but that is because then they will heal flat. And so rather than having them sink in, like again, it's like I said, it's pretty wicked looking. But rather than having them heal and then be beveled, he raises them up now. So then as they heal, they will flatten out and kind of settle. And then they flatten out like basically invisible, but that is pretty wicked. And then I'm going to show you my back incision, which again, this is even more gruesome. So if that was a lot for you, maybe don't watch. But for being only 6 days post-op surgery, I really do need to keep my arms mostly in front of me. But this is, there's a little bruising, obviously, and swelling, like everything above my incision is pretty swollen just because that was not touched before. So some of this area here that's like, you know, hanging over a little bit is really just from swelling. And obviously that will go down over time. I did ask him to email me how much skin and tissue he removed. I know he was gonna take off like about 13 centimeters from my back, and he's gonna get me like the total volume of skin that was removed from my arms and my back. I can't really raise my arms more than this. My left arm incision does go down a little farther. It's a little more tender, but I already can tell like major difference. If you're not used to seeing like the type of swelling and healing process that goes along with it, it looks pretty wicked right now. I know that, but trust me, I'm actually really thrilled with the results, and I can already see huge difference in my arms. For the next couple of weeks, I really took it easy. I went to the hyperbaric chamber. I started getting some lymphatic drainage massages and working. The one thing I really couldn't do on my own was wash my hair. And as much as Chris was wonderful about helping wash and dry my hair, I was missing a really good deep scrub. And I was really just missing my curls. And so I treated myself to a blowout, did the head massage and all the fun things, and left there just feeling like a brand new person. Okay, fast forward to today. I am actually 4 weeks post-op, and I'm gonna catch you up on the last few weeks. I have not been filming day over day, mostly just because I've been doing so well. This surgery has been way easier than I expected it to be. I'm gonna show you my full 4-week results at this point, but I figured I would just let you know what some of the milestones were over the last few weeks while I was healing, and when I was able to do certain things. I have really lived in these tank tops and oversized button-up shirts. I work from home, but I work on camera, so I can wear comfy pants. And then today is 4 weeks post-op, and it's the first day that I've been able to wear a bra. And it's one of those bras with like no clasp in the back, really loose elastic. It's kind of like a t-shirt type bra. And so this also has been like professional. Whenever I go out to church, to anywhere, since I haven't been able to wear a bra for the last few weeks, having like a tank top and an oversized shirt has been my uniform since I had surgery. I have been getting regular lymphatic drainage massages since about a week and a half post-op, and I also have been doing a hyperbaric chamber. I started that 3 days post-op, and so I'm trying to do twice a week for each of those, mainly because a little over a week from now, I leave on a work trip to go to Spain, and I have a very long flight ahead of me. You know, I still won't be lifting my suitcase and stuff for that big trip, but other than that, I think I'll be fine to travel. But I've really been trying to focus on rest, healing, hyperbaric chambers, lymphatic drainage massages, reducing swelling, eating really clean, and I think that's helped. I really have pretty minimal swelling today. It's like the end of the day right now, and my arms are a little swollen, and I can see like the upper part of my back gets a little puffy in the evenings, but for the most part, you know, I haven't had my hands blow up and swell like a lot of people do, and I haven't really had any issues with forearm swelling. Same thing with my elbow. By the end of the day, my elbow gets a little puffy down here and swollen, and I can tell how swollen I am in the back. But for the most part, we're doing really well. Today, at exactly 4 weeks post-op, I took a shower this morning, I stood upright, I washed my hair, I dried it, I curl it, I did the whole process from start to finish, feeling for the most part really good. That's the first time that this has happened. Around 3 weeks, I was able to start washing my own hair, but I had to do the whole bend over motion and kind of like do it upside down. The one piece that is still not going well, to be honest, is just sleeping. I'm normally a side sleeper, and I still cannot sleep on my side. It's just too much pressure on my arms. Slept in the recliner for the first 2.5 weeks. And now I sleep in the bed. I still am like moving to the recliner half the time, and I'm back and forth a little bit. I haven't really been sleeping awesome yet. I am pretty hopeful though that like very soon I will be able to like rotate back around and sleep on my side again. I am healing super well. I've had no complications. My incisions are all very closed. All the scabs have fallen off at this point. They're starting to look really good. The ones on my arms are still raised. It's really normal to have this raised incision at this point. They will continue to flatten out and should completely disappear soon. So here's a preview of one of my arms. Like, It looks like a normal arm, still a little bit of swelling on the bottom, but I didn't, I wanted them to be proportionate for my body. And so I can tell like a huge difference. There is no more like flap dangling below. And then, hey, look, this is good motivation. I got to hit the gym and start building some muscle to go underneath my new arms. For the most part, there really hasn't been any major pain. I would say that I'm just pretty sore and mostly in my arms. My back actually doesn't get sore. I have more of like a lot of sensory issues. Total cost for this surgery, when you take into account the arm lift, and he does that procedure called NanoFat where it's supposed to make my scars less visible long-term, the bra line back lift, the surgical fees, the anesthesia, and the overnight stay, it ended up being like $21,000 for my total surgery. I know there are places, especially if all you want done is your arms, that you can get it done a lot cheaper. I know people go to Mexico for this. I know people have other cheaper options on how to do it. In my area, I did a lot of consults, and there are more expensive options and there are cheaper options. I just am really comfortable with this surgeon and saw really good results with him from my tummy tuck. So I trusted him, and it was worth the extra cost for me to have the comfort of him doing the same surgery. And I'm hopeful that a little extra cost of the NanoFat procedure that he did will actually minimize my scars. So I'll keep you posted on that, but it's probably too soon to tell. In terms of what's next, as far as my healing goes, I don't have full range of motion yet. My left arm, that's about as far as I can go. My right arm is a little farther, but that's because those incisions still go down into my armpit. And then obviously my whole back still has an incision around it, but I'm pretty optimistic. Like, other than that, I really do have like good range of motion other than just going up. I am cleared to kind of start like pushing that a little bit. Any type of exercise or lifting is gonna come much later though. I'm thrilled. I'm totally thrilled. I had to do some math, but the right arm, they took off about 13 ounces total. The left arm was closer to 16 ounces. My back had about 13 ounces from each side. Like, there's a little bit of rounding in there, but the total weight that was removed from my arms and my back during this surgery was around 3 pounds, 7 ounces of skin and excess tissue. When I had my tummy tuck 2 years ago, they also removed around 3 pounds. So 6.5, 7, close to 7 pounds of skin that's removed after losing over 100 pounds myself with diet changes. I'll take it. I said this after my last video, but I do think this is the last surgery for me. I'm trying to not nitpick other areas. We'll see, maybe in another 2 years I change my mind, but I'm really content. I can't wait till it's like almost summer here in Arizona. You're gonna just see me living in tank tops and sleeveless shirts. Once these scars heal even a little bit more, I'm just gonna be a normal person, wear normal clothes, and not being constantly reminded of the poor choices that I made when I was younger. I know this surgery is not an option for everybody, and I also know that it's not something everybody wants to do or is interested in doing, but it's been the right choice for me, and I'm really, really thrilled with it, and I'm ready to just move forward and continue to live this way, make healthy choices, and enjoy being in my own body. I probably won't be making tons more videos on this subject. Unless you have questions, feel free to comment them below, but we'll get back to regularly scheduled programming after this in terms of eating meat and grocery hauls and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching.